Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly forecast for Monday, September 6th through Sunday, September 12th. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my subscribers and those of you who are returning, for a view here. You might want to consider hitting that subscribe button and also click on the little bell there, the notification bell, and you will be notified each time I upload something. Also, check out my monthly forecast, and below there is a link to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. This is just a general forecast, so if you wanted something more specific, you would have to have your chart done. There's also a link there to ask me a question, okay? Let's see here. We only have a few aspects this week, major aspects. And they just occur on Monday and Tuesday, and the rest of the week is really not too much going on. On Monday, September 6th, Venus in Libra squares Pluto in Capricorn, and also this day, Venus in Libra trines Jupiter in Aquarius, and also on this day, Mars in Virgo trines Pluto in Capricorn. Then the next time we have aspects is Tuesday, September 7th, with the Sun in Virgo trines Uranus in Taurus. And on the 10th, Venus moves into Scorpio. So we'll get started here with Aries right away, okay? Well, Venus is in your opposite sign of Libra, where you have Libra in your chart as your 7th house of close relationships and partnerships. So this square to Pluto in Capricorn in your 10th house isn't like a big deal. It's just a square. Usually when Venus and Pluto are in any kind of combination in an aspect, it brings about a little bit of an obsessive quality about your relationship, whatever it is, okay? So, you can work through a square. You can work through anything, actually. But on this day, you have these other really nice transits also going on. So I think this is really kind of minor. Your 10th house, where you have Capricorn, is your house of your career, how you're known by reputation publicly, both professionally and personally. But it's like your career, okay? So maybe if you do have a business relationship with someone, something could be getting in the way of that right now. The relationship is changing in some way or other, either by you or your business partner, that you're not sure exactly what's going on, but you can sense that there's some kind of something brewing there just under the surface possibly. And this is a love relationship. Or even with a friend, a close friend, something could be going on in your career that maybe takes you away from them in some way or other, or your friend or partner doesn't feel it's a good move on your part. Maybe, I think that they wanted to try to hang on to you as close as possible, and maybe they believe you're stepping into like new waters or something as far as your career goes that may be taking you away from them. Okay, also on this day, though, you have Venus in Libra in your 7th house, trines Jupiter transiting in your 11th house of Aquarius. So your 11th house is your house of dreams, hopes, and wishes, your friends and acquaintances, any kind of organization that you belong to, and where you would normally go to like hang out. Okay, so it's your gang. It's where you go again to hang out, like a club, a bar, or something like that. It's also social media, so being on possibly just on social media, but you're making really nice connections with this Venus trine to Jupiter. It just brings about very nice, pleasant times with your friends, or maybe socializing in some way or other. If you are online, perhaps you're joining some new group, okay, or are receiving invitations to join a group or something like that. But it just brings about a really nice time, usually with your friends, and whatever it is that you're doing either expands your interest in some way or other, or possibly even brings a new person into your group of friends that is very interesting to you and helps you to expand your interest in some way. On the very same day, okay, Mars in Virgo in your 6th house trines Pluto transiting in your 10th house of Capricorn. So we have Mars in your 6th house of the workplace and the kind of work that you do, trining your 10th house of your career. So obviously something that you are doing at work, or whatever kind of work that you do is giving you a little bit more pull or more power or influence in your career or your actual job, even like among your co-workers. In fact, you may be put in charge of a certain assignment or something or other. Or if you're self-employed at this time, you get a lot of attention from prestigious clients possibly, or talk about you. Your reputation and whatever is like very, very good. So your reputation precedes you as far as a client approaching you for asking you to take them on. On Tuesday, September 7th, the Sun in Virgo in your 6th house trines Uranus transiting in your 2nd house of Taurus, and your 2nd house is earned income. It's how you earn your money from your job. Okay, so again, we're back to you are doing something pretty spectacular that is bringing about possibly an increase in income or future work or future benefits in some way or other. But it seems like it's going to be money in your pocket, and whatever it is has a little bit of unusual quality to it. Either your work does, or the way you're doing it, or the arrangement that you have with someone for the kind of work that you're doing, or how your work is even going to be used. Okay, so it could be purchased from you, or your services could be purchased in some way or other, that you perform some kind of service that is a little bit different than what most people would be doing. Okay, and I'd have to say it's it might have something to do with a hobby that you once had or still have now, or it's just something creative. Okay, for Taurus, on Monday, September 6th, Venus in, let's see here, in Libra, in your 6th house, squares Pluto, transiting in your 9th house of Capricorn. So, not like a very big deal, okay? It's a square. Venus and Pluto together bring about a kind of anxious quality or obsessive quality to a relationship of some kind or other. Your 9th house is your house of, let's say, like knowledge and, well, a lot of different things. But for this, I'd have to say knowledge, okay, or experience even. Because this square is coming from your 6th house of the workplace and the kind of work that you do. Having Venus here right now beautifies whatever it is, even if you do something like really boring, Venus has a little bit of a touch going on here, and makes your work just a little bit more interesting. There's a possibility that maybe you have a lot more experience, let's say, like than your co-workers, or if you're self-employed, you have more experience than competitors. So you're kind of having to point that out, maybe, that you know a little bit more in regards to the job. So, but you're doing it in such a way that you're not being like overbearing or offensive in, let's say, discounting someone else's work because yours is better. Okay. On the very same day, Venus in Libra in your 6th house trines Jupiter, transiting in your 10th house of your career and your most public life. It's your reputation, personally and professionally. It's how people view you publicly and speak about you. And just having Jupiter here for the rest of the year, even if you haven't already had some kind of promotion within the current company that you work for, or a new job that possibly you're after if you haven't begun something like that, or if you're self-employed, some kind of new venture, or even if you don't work at all, an elevated status in your personal life even, or your past, what it was that you used to do for a living. This is still, you know, it's a trine from your 6th house Venus being there, okay, of the workplace, and the kind of work that you do to your 10th house of your public life, more or less, and your career. So you are creating something or doing something at work right now that really enhances your position in some way there. It really brings a lot of attention to you, and it doesn't denote like a promotion of any kind right off. I mean, that if that hasn't happened yet, you still have till like December. That's how long Jupiter's still going to be here. So, but it really enhances your ability to move up the ladder of success. Okay. On this very same day, Mars in Virgo in your 5th house trines Pluto transiting in your 9th house of Capricorn. So, your 5th house is your house of creativity and romance and fun and speculation, all kinds of amusement, entertainment of any kind. Very nice trine to your 9th house of a foreign anything, people who live at a distance or live in another country, a different culture or background, foreign languages, foreign travel. This is the house of long distance travel and communications, media, publishing, all kinds of stuff. So having Pluto here in your 9th house, though, is like your own philosophy on life and your spiritual and religious beliefs. And I have to say that that has changed kind of drastically over the so many years that Pluto has been here. You may have adopted, let's say, like another culture's viewpoint even, or their philosophy on life, but you may have just meshed it into your own. So you have like a new twist on your basic outlook, but it's enhanced in some way. This trine from your 5th house, though, let's say like romance, means that possibly you are interested in someone who does live at a distance. They could have a completely different background than yours, or they could actually be from another part of the world. This brings about what you two have in common, not what your differences are, but it enhances what you have in common with this person. So for Gemini, on Monday, September 6th, Venus in Libra in your 5th house squares Pluto transiting in your 8th house of Capricorn. So your 5th house, where you have Venus, okay, is your house of romance and fun, good times, okay, parties, entertainment of any kind. It's creativity. It's your children also. Okay, it's games and sports and stuff like that. So having planets here brings, you know, this time of year actually brings out that desire to really get out there and do all these sort of things. The square to Pluto in your 8th house of other people's money and resources just means that maybe you, and let's say like a romantic partner possibly, or even a collaboration with a creative partner, but it looks like maybe you are both you know, splitting the cost of doing something either fun or entertaining, or if it is some kind of creative collaboration, the money that you may need to actually do something like that. Your partner or friend or whatever is making available whatever it is that they have for you to use. Okay. On the very same day, Venus in Libra, again in your 5th house, trines Jupiter, transiting in your 9th house of Aquarius. So having Jupiter in your 9th house is like, that's the natural, Jupiter is the natural ruler of the 9th house, and it just screams travel, you know, long distance travel or foreign travel usually. So opportunities on and off should have opened up in this area for you, and if that's not the case, Jupiter will be here until December, so you still have time. But there's also, you know, many possibilities for like just even contact with people from that live in another country or are in a different part of the world, or even within your own country. But it's long distance. Okay, this is also the house of publishing. It's a media house. It's an internet house. It's a knowledge house and school, higher learning. So maybe you are either attending a class or about ready to start one, or you're teaching one, or you are just learning on your own something or other, and could possibly be a new language, even if it's code, okay, computer language, okay, something like that. You're learning how to write code, so it doesn't necessarily have to be Italian, okay, so, you know, all of this comes about out of the desire to, you know, this is a trine from your 5th house of fun and entertainment, so maybe you are making plans for some kind of trip with someone, to visit someone, and if that's not the case, maybe they're coming to see or visit you. This could possibly be a little bit of a long distance relationship going on, okay? On the very same day, Mars in Virgo in your 4th house trines Pluto, transiting in your 8th house of Capricorn. So Mars in your 4th house of your home life, where you actually live, and the people you live with. It's either family or a roommate, or even if you just live by yourself. But having Mars in your 4th house at this time makes you very energetic about making changes wherever it is that you live. Physical changes, such as like remodeling or something like that, or any kind of change to the living arrangement that, you know, with the people you live with. And if you live alone, this is some kind of change in your personal life. And it seems to be really working out, okay, with the trine to Pluto in your 8th house. 8th house is many, many things. One of them, though, is new beginnings in some way or other. It's the house of death and rebirth, a transformation of some kind, an ending. Having Pluto here has ended something or other within your life where even if it's just a way of living, you know, or a thought process that you have, and has begun something new. So you've changed in some way or other in your attitude, let's say, like towards, this is a partnership house, okay? It's their resources and whatever it is that you may possibly own with someone else. It's bank accounts, credit cards, things like that. So your attitude towards jointly held resources has changed somewhat, and for the better, because right now, if there is something that isn't working out for you in this area, you're making a change to that. You know, you are, and it looks like whomever is on board, you know, maybe you're both agreeing to, let's say, not spend so much money or spend some money on a certain thing or other. On Tuesday, September 7th, the Sun in Virgo in your 4th house trines Uranus, transiting in your 12th house of Taurus. So, you know, again, we're back to your 4th house of your home life and your family, but it's also your personal life and your childhood, your background, you know. This trine to Uranus in your 12th house is, the 12th house is the house of secrets and confidences and occurrences happening behind the scenes, and actions taken by you or someone else in secret. Okay, it's dreams, though, your subconscious mind, it's psychic ability, all kinds of fun stuff. So it just seems like possibly maybe you are either sensing or being told possibly a little bit of a secret in regards to, let's say, like a family member, or something about your childhood possibly that maybe you were aware of but never got the full story on. You knew something or other happened with aunt or uncle so-and-so or cousin whatever, and but you never really knew exactly how it went down, and maybe just, you know, out of curiosity, either you're inquiring or just being told it just as a very matter-of-fact kind of conversation when something like this could come out. Okay, for Cancer, on Monday, September 6th, Venus in Libra in your 4th house squares Pluto transiting in your 7th house of Capricorn. So Venus in your 4th house of your home and your family, where you actually physically live, the property surrounding it. This is also your personal life, your background, how you were raised, and your childhood. So having Venus here makes you kind of want to spruce up your home at this time, or buy stuff for it. Nothing real big. Not a big deal just yet, but it's somewhere, when Mars moves into this area, you'll be wanting to really do a lot of remodeling possibly, or something or other. But anyways, the square to Pluto in your 7th house of partners and close relationships, okay? It's just a square. The combination of Venus and Pluto together sometimes brings about an obsessive quality where you may feel that there's something going on in your close relationships. If this is romance, you know, in regards to your home, may be the subject of either living together or not living together, or something like that has come up. That it's kind of making you feel like possibly you have to hang on to the relationship in a way because it's changing. You're sensing that it's changing in some way or other, or vice versa. Maybe your partner is feeling this way about you. Okay. Also on this day though, okay, Venus in Libra in your 4th house trines Jupiter transiting in your 8th house of Aquarius. So possibly, okay, 8th house is other people's resources and money and many other things, but it's also your partner's resources and money. So maybe, and a partner is also a business partner or a romantic partner or even just a close friend, okay? So something could possibly be going on here right now where having Jupiter in the 8th house means that people are giving you access to whatever it is that they own, you know, even if they're, and a lot of times they're not just lending it to you either, they're actually giving it to you, and this could be one of those times. 8th house is also inheritances and legacies, so you could actually be on the receiving end of some kind of inheritance, and it could be like a family heirloom or something like that, that's, you know, for your home. Somebody could give you something at this time for your home, okay? On the very same day, Mars in Virgo in your 3rd house trines Pluto transiting in your 7th house of partnerships of Capricorn. Okay, so we're back to Mars in your 3rd house of your everyday life. The people you would normally encounter throughout the normal course of your day, even your neighbors, okay? Very nice trine to your 7th house of, again, close relationships and even arrangements and agreements that you have with these people. Okay, so looks like maybe there's something possibly going on in your immediate area. That's also what your 3rd house is your neighborhood. So I'm getting an intergalactic phone call here, so please just ignore that. Anyways, the partnership, let's say a business partnership, is being arranged right now, and possibly a business that you are starting at this time with someone, or some kind of interest that you have with, let's say, like a business partner, but it looks like it'll be something that will be in your immediate area. As far as partnerships go with romance, there could be just something that's going on again within your 3rd house is also like your siblings and your cousins. So possibly something going on with your family again. Maybe they are about ready to attend, let's say, something like a picnic or barbecue or something like that, and they're going to meet your relatives. Okay, so, but it looks like it's something that goes over like really well. Okay, on Tuesday, September 7th, the Sun in Virgo in your 4th house trines Uranus transiting in your 11th house of Taurus. So your 11th house is your most sociable house. Okay, it's social media even, but it's actually socializing with your friends or acquaintances. If you're not able to get out in public, you are still like socializing online. But if you are out in public, you are making up for lost time, kind of, seeing people that you haven't seen because of like the pandemic, or going to a place where you used to go to, where you all used to hang out, or attending some kind of like a live concert, or going to see a live band, or hang out at a club or a bar or something like that. But that's kind of like what this is either doing something completely new and interesting with your friends. It could even be on your own, or even possibly just running into someone throughout the normal course of your day that invites you to do something, and it's even like possibly a new friend or acquaintance coming into your life. Okay, for Leo, let's see here. On Monday, September 6th, Venus in Libra in your third house squares Pluto transiting in your sixth house of Capricorn. So your sixth house, where you have the sign of Capricorn, is your house of the kind of work that you do, your co-workers, your work schedule, even the place, the physical place, building, or whatever, where you work. Square from Venus, from your third house of your everyday life, your neighborhood, your area, but the people that you would encounter throughout the normal course of your day, or the places where you would go. Okay, so this is a square, so it's not like a very big deal. You can actually work through something like this, but these two planets together, Venus and Pluto, sometimes bring about a little bit of an obsessive quality in a relationship. So I would have to say that this would be someone that you work with. Maybe you are in, it's probably just a friendship, but there could be something going on where maybe you or they are branching out in some way or other as far as friendships go, or it could even be work related, that they're possibly having a little bit of envious feelings towards you, either branching out in some way, or having a little bit more opportunities than they do. Whatever, it's just something like that. It can be worked through, but it's almost like one of you is really trying to hold on to the relationship and keep it the way it was, rather than having it change in any way. But on the very same day, though, you have Venus in Libra in your third house, okay, trines Jupiter transiting in your seventh house of Aquarius, and seventh house is your close relationships and partnerships. So I would have to say that if there is something like that going on, let's say business-wise, with a coworker or even a higher up, that this very nice trine to your partnerships kind of like cancels that out in a way. Having Jupiter in your seventh house opens up a lot of opportunities for you to form close relationships and partnerships. And very nice trine from Venus just makes it like a time where you do have that opportunity. It's not like something that's going to smack you in the face like, oh wow, this is something I've been waiting for. But it could happen very naturally and nonchalantly, that maybe you, even, again, third house is everyday life, so throughout the course of one of your normal days here, you or meet someone, or something happens even in your current relationship with a romantic partner or a business partner or a close friend, that just brings about a new opportunity for you to like experience something different or something new, but it helps you to expand in some way or other. On the very same day, Mars in Virgo in your second house trines Pluto transiting in your sixth house of Capricorn again. So we're back to second house is earned income, how you earn your money from whatever kind of work you do. So you've got this very nice trine to your sixth house of the workplace and the kind of work you do, right? So Mars is trying to increase your sources of income or your actual income, period. And that looks like what's going on here right now. Okay, so all of these three transits I just talked about, they all occur in the very same day. So that's what I would have to say is work-related, money, and partnerships and relationships and stuff. But it's all good. Okay, on Tuesday, September 7th, the Sun in Virgo in your second house, trines Uranus transiting in your 10th house of career. Okay, so in Taurus. Okay, so your 10th house, again, your house of career and your outer persona, how people view and speak about you publicly in regards to your profession or even your personal life. Now, having the Sun in your second house, again, of income and many other things, but it's a money house, so you are focused in that area trying to bring in more money. Okay, so it kind of looks like you're getting help here in some way or other. It could be a mentor or a higher up, or somebody in your life, period, that helps you, like, career wise. Okay, that is actually doing something like that right now. Or you could just be suddenly, some of this could actually be leading up to just being thrust into somebody else's job, their position. Okay, something could happen where that person is not available, they're not there for some reason. It could be temporary, could be long term, but kind of looks like you might be taking over for someone else, and it might end up being a permanent thing, but for now, you're being possibly pushed into a position or a job that is actually pretty good, should actually be very good for you. Okay, so for Virgo, on Monday, September 6th, Venus in Libra in your second house squares Pluto, transiting in your fifth house of Capricorn. So having Venus in your second house of how you earn your money, money coming to you through work that you do. But it's also your house of valuables that you own and even your personal values. Okay, house of hobbies or hidden talents. Okay, having Venus here is attracting things to you, and I'd have to say some of these have to be birthday related. Okay, that no matter when your birthday is this month, it could be a gift of some kind, and it could be like a Venus related kind of gift, meaning some kind of luxury item or something beautiful, or like a perfume or cologne, or just a jewelry even. I'm always big on jewelry. Okay, so anyways, this square to Pluto in your fifth house of romance, okay, and creativity and many other things, fun and entertainment, just means that maybe there's some changes, a lot of changes have been going on in your life in this area anyways, just because you have Pluto here for many, many years. So your love life has changed, or your outlook on your love life has changed in many, many ways. And this is just one more thing that's happening on this day, and it's just a square. And you have two other transits going on the very same day that I'll get to in a minute, so it's not like a very big deal, but it does mean that in a way, these two planets together bring about like an obsessive quality. Okay, Venus and Pluto together. So you could be maybe even in your mind just going over and over considering money in regards to your romantic relationship, or even fifth house is also children. Okay, maybe you're struggling with, are you spoiling your child by spending too much on them, or do they seem, whomever, a child or a romantic partner, do they seem like you always they feel that you're always there for them as far as finances go, and maybe that's not the case. Okay, so it could be something that you're trying to change a little bit, trying to ease them into another way of thinking, because you're not the one that, you know, has all the purse strings filled all the time, the purse filled, okay? So it's something changing in that way or other. On the very same day, though, Venus, again in Libra in your second house, trines Jupiter, transiting in your sixth house of Aquarius. And your sixth house is the kind of work that you do, your co-workers, the workplace, your work schedule, all kinds of stuff. Having Jupiter here brings about like new everything kind of within your job, or the actual physical place where you work, or perhaps you're even still working at home, or even if you don't work at all, there is still something going on in your life that your everyday life. It's another one of those houses, like the third house, that brings about new opportunities. Okay, so if it is actual work, okay, there's like a new person possibly that is working there. You have a new boss, or a new client, or assignments, or something like that. But it's very helpful. And now, whatever it is, you're receiving money or some other kind of perk, but I believe it's money. In regards to your job, you are being given the opportunity to expand in some way or other, or change little things, even if it is your schedule. It's something that helps you, though, in some way. And again, back to a new person possibly being there. This person actually makes your job a little bit easier, and is like a breath of fresh air considering the other people that you've had to deal with. Okay. On the very same day, Mars in Virgo in your first house, okay, trines Pluto, transiting in your fifth house of Capricorn. So you have Mars in your first house, and it's making you very energetic, okay, and very enthusiastic about going after what it is that you really want, okay, in any part of your life. So that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, now if you are interested in someone romantically, this applies to that. Okay, you're not going to be like real coy or whatever. You're going to be a little bit bold possibly in approaching this person. Also, though, fifth house is the house of creativity. So if you have been working on something and you just feel like it's just dragging along, you know, you get that extra burst of energy that helps you to put like long hours even into something that you're working on. And if that's all you do is work, you know, this is your house of fun. The fifth house is the house of fun and entertainment. So now you're dead set on doing that. You know, you may have had plans on the back burner for how long already that you haven't been able to do. And this could be one of those times that you're like, hey, I'm tired of, you know, it's just nothing but work. It's time that I actually did what I said I was going to do, which was have fun doing whatever, you know, whatever plans that you may have had. So remember, all these three transits I was just talking about, they all occur on the same day, okay? So Tuesday, September 7th, okay, the Sun in Virgo in your first house trines Uranus, transiting in your ninth house of Taurus. So a very nice trine to your ninth house of long distance travel and communications, foreign anything, contact with people who live in another country or across your own country, or even just like at a distance. Okay, this is also the house of higher learning. This could be a time where you actually do something like that. Learn something either on your own, something online possibly, even if it's just watching a YouTube video. It's also the house of publishing and media. So if you were planning on, you know, something that you've written possibly, this would be a time to like really either submit it or expose it to the world, you know, put it out there, more than likely online. But this is a day of like interest, unusual interest though, or of doing something a little bit different than you're normally used to doing. So you could actually be, again, learning something just out of like always having an interest for it but never really pursuing it, just out of curiosity, or contacting someone that you haven't spoke to in a really, really long time who possibly lives at a distance or in another country even. Okay, so for Libra, on Monday, September 6th, Venus in Libra in your first house squares Pluto, transiting in your fourth house of Capricorn. So you're really getting your own way now as it is. You know, Venus is your ruling sign and it's in your first house. So when Venus is in your first house, no matter what zodiac sign you are, people usually defer to you, okay? They want to appeal to you because you are so appealing at this time. Okay, so the square to Pluto in your fourth house of your family life, your home life, where you actually live, the people you live with, if it's not family, it could be like a roommate, or even if you live alone, it is like your personal life, okay? So maybe there's something going on there, you know, that Pluto's been here for a while in your fourth house, so a lot of relationships have changed within your family unit. Or even where you live, maybe you've moved quite often, or have had like one roommate after another or something or other. But whatever is currently going on there is something that you are trying to kind of like hold on to. You don't want it to change all that much. Could be something about your home or your property, where you actually live, but it could be in regards to family or the people you live with, or your personal life, whatever. But Pluto and Venus together in an aspect brings about a little bit of obsessive quality. So whatever might be changing there with someone is something that you're trying to hold or keep where it is. You don't want it to change. So it's just a square. It's something that can be worked through. On the very same day, Venus, again in your first house in Libra, trines Jupiter, transiting in your fifth house of Aquarius. So this is really nice, trine to your fifth house of romance and creativity and children and entertainment of any kind, the arts even, speculation and gambling, sports, games of any kind. So having Jupiter here has brought or expanded this part of your life in some way or other. Not a lot though, because Saturn is also transiting here at the same time, and they kind of like even each other out. They're complete opposite planets. Jupiter is expansion, Saturn is restrictions. Okay, so this nice trine though from your first house of your personality, okay, is enhancing your ability to have fun or your opportunities to have fun. In fact, something could show up on this day even, or it could be pre-planned, plans that you've already had for this day that turns out to be a lot more fun than you thought it would be, or even introduces you to some new way of having fun, or taking up something like dancing or whatever, excuse me, something like that that makes you realize, wow, I should have been doing this all along. It could even be like some kind of like time that you spend with children, your own children or someone else's, or even it's something that's, say, childish, like an amusement park, even though it's for adults also. It's something that like possibly you haven't done since you were a kid. Okay, on the same day, Mars in Virgo in your 12th house trines Pluto, transiting in your 4th house of Capricorn. So we're back to having Mars in the 12th house. If you've listened to my monthly forecast, you'll know, you know, what I mean by having Mars in the 12th house is many, many things. Could be secret, whatever, secrets going on, actions by you or someone else behind the scenes. In this case, it's in regards to your home or your property, or the people you live with, or something or other that's going on in your personal life. But Mars is making you do a lot of things in regards to, let's say, the people you live with, a roommate possibly, or family, or even if you live alone, there's something that you're trying to take care of, and it looks like it's in secret, you know, and it looks like it's actually being taken care of. You're trying to shore up loose ends, or I always say you're doing things to protect yourself, to make sure your interests are also recognized in a way, okay? Because, you know, Mars is about ready to move into your first house, and that's going to make you physically active even. But having it in your 12th house just means that you're doing things in order to, in a way, protect yourself, or you're working on something that you're about ready to spring on everyone if you feel that they should know, okay? Now, on Tuesday, September 7th, the Sun in Virgo in your 12th house trines Uranus transiting in your 8th house of Taurus. So we're back to, you know, the Sun in your 12th house of secrets, and again, actions taken by you or someone else behind the scenes. It's also the house of psychic ability, and so is the 8th house, where you have the planet Uranus transiting in Taurus right now. You could have some kind of link possibly with someone on this day. You know, 8th house is also other people's resources and money. You may, having Uranus here means that a lot of times there's a lot of unpredictability going on in this area of your life, where you may actually be on the receiving end of a legacy or inheritance somewhere down the way from someone that, you know, totally out of the blue, you weren't even expecting it, stuff like that. Also, possibly sudden winnings. This is the house of money coming to you through means other than earning it. So there could actually be something going on behind the scenes in secret, where someone is financially helping you, or they're doing something, okay? 8th house is other people's resources and money, but resources is not always money and physical things. It could be like their cooperation, their help in some way, even if they are just putting in a good word for you, or setting up like an introduction, asking one of their friends to put you up someplace or something or other. You know what I mean? Something like that. Okay, for Scorpio. On Monday, September 6th, Venus in Libra in your 12th house squares Pluto transiting in your 3rd house of Capricorn. So you have these planets in your 12th house. They're about ready to move into your 1st house, but right now having Venus in your 12th house kind of brings about the secret crush, secret admirer. Either you are one of these things, or you are aware that there is someone that feels this way about you. The 12th house is one of the houses of psychic ability, and by nature you are pretty much a very psychic sign. So you could actually already sense this thing, you know, having this square to Pluto in your 3rd house of your everyday life, and the people you would encounter throughout the normal course of your day, even like going to businesses, like, you know, the grocery store, gas station, things like that. You could be having possibly a little bit of secret communications with someone right now. 3rd house is big communications and travel. It's also an internet house, so maybe you are in touch with someone online. But it's regular mail though too, regular postal mail or email. Maybe you are communicating with this person back and forth through text message even. Just something like that. There's something possibly going on as far as communications go, okay? On the very same day, Venus again in Libra in your 12th house trines Jupiter, transiting in your 4th house of Aquarius. So both of these planets together are always like good luck and good fortune. And having Jupiter in your 4th house of your home life, your family, the people you live with, if it's not family, a roommate, or even if you live on your own, there's still some kind of something going on where you live, or your home that you live in, that's expanding in some way or other. You may have even started a business that, you know, out of your living room or something like that. Or maybe you are renting out space to someone or other. But maybe possibly with this trine from Venus, maybe somebody is moving in with you possibly, but you have, and they're just a friend, but you might have your eye on them, you know, thinking maybe, you know, you're like attracted to them or something or other. Or vice versa. The roles could be reversed. Maybe you are moving even to a new home, and you find your neighbor is really appealing in a lot of ways. Okay, so you could be striking up some kind of relationship there. On the very same day, Mars in Virgo in your 11th house trines Pluto transiting in your 3rd house of Capricorn. So Mars in your 11th house of dreams, hopes, and wishes, and friends and acquaintances, where you would normally go to hang out, and the places that, let's say, like if you go to see like a live band, or you hang out at a bar, or any kind of organization that you belong to. But this is also social media, socializing online if you're not able to get out in person. And your 3rd house, again, where you have Pluto, is your everyday life, and you know, like your neighbors, your siblings and cousins even. But it is the people that you would bump into throughout the normal course of your day. So it looks like possibly that you are either getting together with friends, possibly within your own area, your neighborhood, or there's something going on that you're being invited to or being a part of going on near you in your own area. But as far as dreams, hopes, and wishes go, though, having Mars here makes you really, really want to go after some kind of goal that you have. And it looks like there could even be something or someone that is like close to you in some way or other. 3rd house is even old classmates. Okay, so you could even have contact with one of them, let's say online in social media, and like renew your friendship with them in some way. But somebody could come into your life at this time that does help you to at least take steps to achieve some kind of goal that you have in mind. Okay, on Tuesday, September 7th, the Sun in Virgo in your 11th house trines Uranus transiting in your, let's see here, 7th house of Taurus. So, you know, Taurus is your opposite sign. The planet Uranus is here, so you have a lot of unpredictability in your close relationships, especially romantic and or business relationships. But a very nice trine, again, from your 11th house of dreams, hopes, and wishes, okay, and friends, and socializing, whatever. Maybe you are meeting someone that could possibly be a new romantic prospect or a business partner somewhere down the line. There's something possibly about the way that you do meet them. It could be in a roundabout, unusual way. And again, that's the key word here, is unusual and sudden even. Meeting someone at this time for a partnership, a romantic or business partnership that you would never have been interested in any other time. There's something really different about this person or the business possibly that you might be going into that you would never have done in the past. But now that's all changed because you're more open to things like that. And in fact, it's actually pretty interesting or different enough for you that you would like to try something like this. So for Sagittarius, okay, on Monday, September 6th, Venus in Libra in your 11th house squares Pluto transiting in your 2nd house of Capricorn. So having Venus in your 11th house of friends and associates, acquaintances, socializing. This is the house of socializing and social media, but it's where you would normally go to hang out, okay, with your friends or any kind of club or bar that you would normally go to. So if you're not going out in public right now, you're online socializing, okay? So having Venus here, though, at this time attracts more people to you, so you're possibly being invited to join some kind of online group or something or other. But this is also the house of organizations, okay? So Pluto, where you have in your second house, where you have the sign of Capricorn, is a money house. So maybe whatever it is you're doing is going to cost you money or something or other, and maybe you might even have to be paying for something that you never paid for before. There was never a fee, or there was never any kind of charge. You know, it was always free, or whatever. You know, something like that may have changed in whatever it is that you do with your friends. Whatever it is, though, it's very small because this is a square. But usually when something occurs between these two planets, Venus and Pluto, it usually has a bit of an obsessive quality about it as far as relationships go. So I would have to say, though, because money's involved here, it might be something like that. Maybe you're tired of spending money on whatever it is that you do or used to do with your friends. Maybe you haven't done it for a really long time, you know, because of the pandemic, and now that you go back to do it, the whatever just isn't there anymore. You know what I mean? It's not that like much fun, or, you know, why are you doing this, or you know, you could be spending your money on something else, and but there could be like a person in your life that is luring you to do these very things. Okay, on the very same day, though, Venus in Libra in your 11th house trines trines Jupiter, yeah, in your 3rd house of Aquarius. So your 3rd house is your everyday life, your neighborhood, the people you would encounter throughout the normal course of your day. It's social media also, and it's big communication and travel house. I would have to say that, you know, having Jupiter here, a lot of, well, your communications have expanded in some way or other, but regular postal mail and email and text messages and phone calls, things like that, have increased in some way or other, okay? This is the house of writing, the written word, so maybe you're even writing something at this time. But, you know, I would have to say, again, we're back to the 11th house of dreams, hopes, and wishes, though, okay, along with your friends and acquaintances and stuff like that, and socializing. So there could actually be somebody there that you meet, could be somebody new that helps you in some way or other. Maybe a 3rd house is also like the internet. So maybe you have, let's say, like a website or something, or a YouTube channel, or a podcast of some kind. And maybe, you know, you're getting a little bit more attention from some kind of group, a group of friends, or people that you meet on social media possibly at this time. But your traffic, more or less, is increasing to whatever it is that you possibly do. Let's say like in media, okay? Very same day, okay? Mars in Virgo in your 10th house trines Pluto transiting in your 2nd house of Capricorn. So we have Mars in your 10th house of your career, okay? How you're like most public house in your chart, okay? So it's how the public views and speaks about you, okay, publicly, okay? So it's your reputation, professionally and personally. And having Mars here really elevates you, you know, right now. The Sun is here also, so you're kind of like in the spotlight. You're in the public eye, whether you want to be or not. You know, even if you don't do anything that's like newsworthy. You know, people could still be talking about you like you're like news. You know, like you're a media darling. You know, considering Venus was just here and now it's in your 11th house. So it's still like, and it will eventually be going into your first house. Okay, so you're still getting an awful lot of attention, and this trine to your second house of money, okay, where you have Pluto in Capricorn, just means that you are, in a way, increasing your ability to bring in more money or an new source of income. Your reputation is preceding you. And as far as work goes, even if you don't work or you're retired or something like that, there is still something about you right now that you are in the public eye or you are in the spotlight, and it is increasing your worth even. Okay, second house is also self-worth. So even if it's just compliments and whatever coming your way, it's still doing something or other that will eventually increase your income. Okay, on Tuesday, September 7th, the Sun in Virgo in your 10th house trines Uranus, transiting in your 6th house of Taurus. So your 6th house is the kind of work that you do. Okay, it's the workplace, your co-workers, work schedule. So I would have to say that, you know, again, being in the public eye right now, brings about a new source of income or a new job offer, even a new client, all kinds of fun things going on here, because having Uranus in your 6th house has changed some things about your job, or has changed your job completely. You're doing something completely different now, or you are finally doing something that you've always wanted to do that gives you more freedom and to not just express yourself, but physical freedom. You're not like weighed down by a lot of rules or regulations from, let's say, like a company that you could possibly work for. So a very interesting client could come on board with you right now, or a really prestigious client, something like that. Okay, for Capricorn, on Monday, September 6th, Venus in Libra in your 10th house squares Pluto, transiting in your first house of Capricorn. So not like a very big deal. Okay, so having Venus in your 10th house is almost sometimes like having Venus in your first house. Okay, people are saying really, really nice things about you, and you're being kind of like critiqued for the way you look usually. Okay, people are talking about, you know, your hair or your style, kind of clothes that you wear or whatever. The square to Pluto, it's not like a very big deal. However, a lot of times these two planets together bring about a little bit of an obsessive quality. Okay, so you could be hearing things about yourself that, as far as your appearance goes, that makes you want to change something about your appearance, or change something that you're getting back through the grapevine someone has said about you. And it's usually, again, about your appearance or something. So it's not something to take too seriously. This is a square. Okay, so in a square you can always work around. However, on the very same day, okay, Venus in Libra in your 10th house trines Jupiter, transiting in your second house of Aquarius. So your 10th house being your house of career, okay, and your second house being earned money, earned income. Okay, it's earning money from a job that you do. So obviously, you're getting some really nice press, or really nice publicity, or just through the grapevine, people are saying some really nice things about you that are enhancing your ability to bring in extra income or increase your income in some way. Like your reputation is being uplifted to a point where if you do work for a company, they can't help but notice that you yourself, there's something special about you that is bringing in more work, for the company, even a new client possibly. If you're self-employed, same thing goes for you. You could get like a very prestigious kind of client or attention from another company or something that wants to, you know, purchase whatever it is from you. So it just enhances your ability to bring in more money. Okay. Also on this day, Mars in Virgo in your 9th house trines Pluto transiting in your 1st house of Capricorn. So Mars in your 9th house of many, many things, but I'd have to say it's the house of higher learning and knowledge. And having Mars here right now, I'd have to say that you're pretty confident in whatever it is that you know, that you're very sure of whatever it is that you, let's say, you know, if you are involved in some kind of work, okay, let's say that you know your stuff, you know, but any subject at this time, you could feel pretty confident about holding your own, let's say, even in some kind of conversation. So whatever kind of knowledge that you possess, even if it's something that you picked up on your own and not necessarily went to school for, you don't have that piece of paper that says you graduated from this or that, you know, class or university or something like that, you're still pretty confident in whatever it is that you know. You know your stuff, okay? So because of that, though, it's like really enhancing your personality in such a way that it's making it a little bit more even attractive at this time, because you might even be like just the go-to person as far as that goes. Like the very next day, okay, on Tuesday, September 7th, the Sun in Virgo in your 9th house trines Uranus transiting in your 5th house of Taurus. So again, because of whatever it is that you may possibly know, and now the 9th house too is a big travel and communication house, but it's the house of foreign travel, foreign people, people from a different culture, people who live at a distance, okay? So you could be in touch with or even having a long distance relationship, and a very nice trine to Uranus in your 5th house of romance and creativity and speculation and children, sports, games, any kind of entertainment, but it's fun. It's things that are fun, you know. So this, and having the planet Uranus here, that means all of these things that I just mentioned have altered in some way as compared to what you used to do for fun, or the kind of person that you were attracted to romantically, or and even so much as like the kind of film or music that you listen to is a little bit different than it used to be. So something like that is, I'd have to say a person is very interested in you at this time because of that, because you both have a lot in common, and what it is that you have in common is something that's different. It's not something that everyone is into. You know, it's kind of like esoteric. So you have a really nice rapport going on right now with someone that, again, lives at a distance or comes from a completely different background than you. Okay. So for Aquarius, on Monday, September 6th, Venus in Libra in your 9th house squares Pluto transiting in your 12th house of Capricorn. So the 9th house is your house of travel, long-distance travel and communications. The house of higher learning. It's a media and publishing house. It's an internet house. It's big travel, long distance though, or anything to do with foreign anything. People who live in another country, foreign people, foreigners, okay? People who live at a distance. Just having all these planets in Libra right now, especially Venus, just means that maybe you're attracted to possibly somebody from a different culture, or you would like to learn something more about someone's culture, their background, or even like listening to, let's say, like tapes on videos rather on YouTube in regards to different parts of the world. You know, this is the house of adventure, you know, and you have Jupiter in your first house, okay? Along with Saturn, which kind of guarantees that you're not about ready to, you know, go off on some wild adventure that could possibly be dangerous. But the desire to do that adventure is still there, okay, especially with Venus here. You know, there could even be someone talking you into it, saying, oh, we'll have so much fun, you know, let's go do this, or whatever. But it could be some kind of plans or whatever that you're making right now that in the back of your mind, okay, because this square to Pluto is in your 12th house of your like subconscious mind, but it's the house of secrets and hidden anything, you know. So your feelings in regards to this could be like, man, I'm not real sure about it, but we'll wait and see. Okay, on the very same day though, okay, Venus again in your 9th house trines Jupiter, transiting in your first house of Aquarius. So this is enhancing, Venus is enhancing your personality in such a way that anyone that you encounter at this time on this day, okay, because there's like 3 different transits going on this very same day, okay, they're either impressed with all of the things that you know, your knowledge, you're knowledgeable on something or other that you're discussing with them, or you're just an interesting person, period, like on your own, or you're having a very nice conversation, possibly long distance, okay, could be on the phone, could be email, any kind of communication, just whatever, you know. It's a very pleasant day, actually. On the very same day, Mars, okay, in Virgo in your 8th house, trines Pluto, transiting in your 12th house of Capricorn. So 8th house is other people's resources and money. It's also the house of death and rebirth. It's the ending of a way of life. Usually, sometimes it is literal, but you really don't have anything like that, I think, going on right now. But it brings an end to, let's say, being a certain way, you know, a chain of thought, you know, that you've had, or a way of living, or something or other, sometimes ends, and then a new beginning obviously starts from there. So could be something like that going on. However, it is actually, again, other people's resources and money. So right now, somebody could be giving you access to whatever it is that they have. You know, if you need to borrow money at this time, could be possibly from a family member. I'll get to that in a minute, okay? Because like on the next day, okay, on Tuesday, September 7th, the Sun in Virgo in your 8th house, okay, along with this Mars, trines Uranus transiting in Taurus in your 4th house of your home and family, okay. So somebody, a family member more than likely, could be helping you behind the scenes, okay, in secret. If you have siblings or something, you know, maybe you're getting a little bit more from relatives than they have or they ever had, or maybe you're being even made like the executor of someone's will, or you're on the receiving end of some kind of inheritance or legacy. But a lot of this also has to do with your childhood. 4th house is also your childhood and your past and whatever, and having the planet Uranus here in your 4th house brings about a lot of unpredictability as far as your living arrangements go, where you live, who you live with, family matters, or family members acting up, you know, on and off. So, you know, something like that going on. But it looks like you are being given access to something. It doesn't always have to be money. Okay, it's resources too. That could be anything. And it could even be maybe someone is giving you the keys to, let's say, like another home, or some place to visit, like a cabin or something or other. Okay, but for now, it's a little bit of a secret. Eventually it won't be, but it's not like you're going to go, you know, calling up your other relatives going, guess what? You know, because I think that would kind of make them mad. Angry. Okay, so it's a good idea to keep whatever to yourself for now. So, for Pisces, on Monday, September 6th, Venus in Libra in your 8th house squares Pluto, transiting in your 11th house of Capricorn. So having these planets right now in Libra in your 8th house of passive money coming to you through means other than earning it. It's shared resources with a partner. It's also other people's resources and money. But having Venus here is attracting things that you need. So it's not always money. It could be people even. If you need cooperation from someone. Especially like this house governs like institutions like the IRS or banks or any kind of financial institution. And having Venus here right now makes them a little bit more cooperative and willing to help you with money if that's what you need right now, or an increase in credit, or just change in terms of whatever it is that you have, a loan or a credit card bill or something like that. But this square to Pluto in your 11th house of your friends and acquaintances and like sociability. This is your most sociable house. Just kind of means usually that one of your friends is trying to get you to spend money on doing something or other, attending some kind of like show, or going to you know, some place or other where you are going to spend money that you're really not wanting to spend. It could even be like the 11th house is also organizations, okay, that you may belong to, that they are asking for dues money at this time or some kind of contribution. Okay, on the very same day, Venus, again in Libra in your 8th house, trines Jupiter, transiting in your 11th house of Aquarius. So having Jupiter in your, your 12th house. Your 12th house of Aquarius. So having Jupiter in your 12th house brings a lot of help by anyone, actually, behind the scenes. It's... you may not even be aware of it, that somebody is actually helping you, even if they're just putting in a good word for you or sticking up for you when you're not there, and somebody is either saying something about you or doing something possibly against you. You have to remember you have Saturn also in your 12th house at the same time. So, you know, there's a lot of thought processes here that aren't very happy at times, you know, because sometimes Saturn brings about these bouts of depression, but having Jupiter here kind of alleviates a lot of that. So it just looks like there's somebody really trying to do what's best for you, okay? And they may, again, give you access to whatever it is that they have, okay? Whatever resources it is that they have. They also, 8th house is also legacies and inheritances. So you may be on the receiving end. I don't really see anything like that right now, but there's just a possibility that there could be paperwork being drawn up eventually, naming you in a will, or naming you as an executor or something of a will, or in charge of what happens to someone's estate. Excuse me. And it just might not be a very popular subject, you know, or an occurrence, let's put it that way, among you and your relatives. Okay. On the very same day, Mars in Virgo in your 7th house trines Pluto, transiting in your 11th house of Capricorn. So Mars in Virgo's your opposite sign. I've mentioned what it's like having Mars in your 7th house in your opposite sign in your monthly forecast, so you might want to listen to that there. But a nice trine to your 11th house of dreams, hopes, and wishes, aside from the fact that it's your friends and acquaintances and whatever, and where you would normally go to hang out, kind of means that you're possibly pairing with someone, even if it is a romantic partner, that is giving you an awful lot of say or power or clout or whatever in some way or other to, let's say, sway the opinion of a group of people. Could be an organization that you belong to, but could also be just like your group of friends or your influence on them, even as to where you guys would go now, you know, to hang out. Maybe it's somewhere different than you used to go due to the pandemic. There could be lots of changes going on, and maybe you're not even going out in public, but whatever, you're having an awful lot of influence on your friends or a group of people. On Tuesday, September 7th, the Sun in Virgo in your 7th house trines Uranus transiting in your 3rd house of Taurus. So this is actually very nice though too. Your 3rd house is your everyday life and the people that you would encounter throughout the normal course of your day. It's your neighbors. It's even your siblings and your cousins. It's regular postal mail, email, any kind of communication. The 3rd house is big time communication and travel, and having the planet Uranus here means that there's always the possibility for unpredictability in this area of your life. Okay, now this trine from the Sun of your close relationships just means that there's possibly something going on. Let's say if you're involved in some kind of business arrangement or even a business partnership with someone that is going on within your own neighborhood. Maybe this is an arrangement that you're making right now, or even a contract of some kind that benefits you actually, or benefits both parties. So it's worth, I wouldn't say about signing right now. I mean, that's something that you could probably take your time in doing, but somebody could be offering you some kind of really nice setup, you know, as far as partnerships, romantic, or even a close friend. It just, you know, it seems like there's maybe more going on at this time in your life, in your area, that you would like to have your, let's say, romantic partner or even a close friend come and do with you, and at the same time possibly meet your siblings or other family members, something like that. But you could also just even get some kind of communication at this time from, could even be like a legal matter even, that the outcome of it is like something that you weren't expecting. It looks to me like it's good news of some kind, but it could just come totally out of the blue. And in fact, one of these people that I've just mentioned, okay, the romantic partner, the business partner, the friend, whatever, they could possibly be the ones to actually give you some kind of news that you were not expecting, that actually turns out to be a lot better than you expected, sorry. So I hope everyone enjoyed their forecast for this week. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Click on that little bell and you'll be notified each time I upload something. And check out my monthly forecasts. Also check out Ask Me a Question. There's a link below in the description below this video. There's also a link to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. And keep in mind, this is a general forecast. So you would have to have your personal chart done if you wanted it to be more specific. Okay, so I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.